Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk to you about WWE wrestling. Now, I know a lot of people out there just don't get wrestling. They don't understand it. They say it's all fake, which a lot of it is fake. I'll give you that. But when it comes down to people seriously getting hurt and they have to have surgery because they tore their muscle out of their shoulder or they tore their ligaments out of their leg, knees, and everything else. Now that is really fake when they have to go through surgery like that? I don't think so. But let's get back to the wrestling. You go inside a steel cage, that steel is not fake, that's real. You get slammed your head up against that steel cage, you're going to get busted open. That's for real. But yet they all want to say, well, it's all fake. It's all this. It's all that. Well, that all boils down to what you believe. If you believe it's all fake, then it's all fake. But if you ever seen the people in them matches come out bloody and everything else, you come to find out that's real blood that's coming off of them. So how fake is it that way? But then again, this is supposed to be WWE. It's a sports entertainment now. They don't even classify it as athletes. They're sports entertainers. That is the first mistake they ever made, because they are athletes. They're not entertainers, they're athletes. Yes, they get in the ring, they entertain us for the whole 2 hours or 3 hours that they're on TV. That's entertainment. But they're still athletes. But we got a man that's in charge that he wants to classify, and the whole organization classified it. This is Triple H's error. No, it's not. It's not Triple H's error, because he kept the same people that Vince McMahon had. Oh my God, I'm not supposed to mention Vince McMahon, because nobody in WWE wants to even mention his name. Why, I don't have a clue, because he's one that started it. He's one that built it up to what it was, and that's a fact. But no, Triple H comes out and he says, well, this is my era. I am Triple H, Paul Levesque. This is my era. But like I said, he kept the same people that Vince McMahon had. Well, to me, if you're going to have this is your era, then you get rid of the damn people that Vince McMahon had. That means you get rid of Bruce Richards. You get rid of Michael P.S. Hayes. Because they worked for Vince McMahon. That's plain and simple. That's who they work for. But yet, Triple H ain't smart enough to know how to run this business, so he keeps them people still there because he can fall back on them to absolutely help him with the business. But then, oh my God, what? Get out of here. We've got wrestlers that now that are competing that don't really know what they're actually doing. That's plain and simple. Take, for example, Maxine Dupree. Maxine don't know the first thing about wrestling, but yet she went to the dungeon. Oh my God, that is really bad, man. When you are sent to the dungeon and work out with Natalia and her husband. Holy shit, she came back, and what did she do? She had the worst match ever against a person that is supposed to be so good. Everybody says it. Sports Illustrated says it. Every magazine says it. That she's the best wrestler in the world. And that is nothing more than Becky Lynch. But did you see the last match that Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch had? It was a horrible match. It was like both of them were completely rookies. They didn't know what they were doing inside that ring. But then we get back to that. What I want to know is, does anybody out there actually have a favorite wrestler out there? I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Attitude Era. That was magnificent, the Attitude Era. Because when they came out with an attitude. You can actually see them when they came out and started to walk down the ring. They carried themselves with an attitude. What do we got today? We got people that comes out of the gorilla area and comes out on stage, and what? We got people that absolutely want to stand there and look around, profile themselves. Really? I come here to see wrestling. I didn't come to see no stupid damn idiot come out there and woo-wee, wow, look at this, turn here, turn there. I didn't come to see all that. I ain't watching it on TV to see it that way. But yet, that's what they do. And that what? It takes them 4 minutes to walk down that aisle to even get in the ring. Then what do they do when they get in the ring? Oh my God, they have to walk over and grab a mic and they do their little promos like, I really care about what the hell you're going to say. I want to see you wrestle. I don't want to hear you talk. But that's all we get nowadays. We got 15 minutes of them standing around talking. We got the worst one that comes out, and every time he comes out, what's he do? He climbs up on the ropes and looks out across the crowd. Then he gets back down and he goes over and grabs a mic. He walks around the ring with that mic in his hand. And what is his first thing he says? Well, what do you want to talk about? Yes, I'm talking about Cody Rhodes. He absolutely came back, and it was good that he came back, but he came back to finish a story. But once he finished his story, what did he do? You remember when Cody Rhodes first came back? He came out to the ring wearing nothing more than his wrestling gear. What's Cody Rhodes wearing now? A 3-piece suit. Really? He won that title, and what did he tell The Rock? Well, I ain't doing that. I can't even sell my soul because I sold my soul to them people, the fans. This belt belongs to the fans. But yet what? He runs around with a 3-piece suit on. That's pretty well a slap in the face to the fans, my opinion. That belt that he was holding is supposed to be the fans' belt. But when you come out with a 3-piece suit on, it looks like you're a corporate champion. Maybe that's why Cody Rhodes lost the title. Because people were getting sick and tired of Cody Rhodes running around like, oh my God, I got this belt. Oh, look how nice I look in this 3-piece suit. He was no longer a champion for the people. He was a champion for the organization. That's plain, that's simple, that's a fact. But to get back to that, okay, great. But like I said, I didn't come here to listen to them watch around and absolutely do their little promos. That's ridiculous. But that's what they do. Because why? Because plain and simple, the man in charge, that's what he thinks that is important to the fans, is to cut them stupid promos. Promos are good. But you cut them in the back. That's where you cut them. You cut them all in the back, not out there in the ring area. So there lies your problem. But then, I mean, hell, we got wrestlers that still, I guess they're still in the business. I have no idea. I haven't seen Montez Ford for how long? You haven't seen Demond Johnson, or, I'm sorry, but Blanca Belair for how long? What about Dawkins? You haven't seen Dawkins. What about, Butch? Remember Butch? Oh my God, he was really something else. But where they all went to? See, we finally got a few wrestlers back. We got, now he wants to be known as Matt Cadona. But at one time, if you people remember who he wasn't that great. It's the reason why he left. But now we got him back. We got Austin Theory back. Really? He come back interfering in a stupid match. Then, oh my God, how fantastic. Actually, I'm going to tell you a little secret there. The mask was not supposed to be taken off as when it was. It was supposed to drag on a little bit further, but Austin Theory said that was enough. He pulled the mask off. Did it really shock a whole lot of people when he done it? No, because what really should have been done was actually CM Punk actually capturing and then revealing the mask. That would have got a bigger pop. That's a known fact. Everybody tells you that. But that's okay. But get back to who we all should blame about this. That's nothing more than the person that is supposed to be in charge. Yes, I'm talking about Triple H. Or, I'm sorry, Paul Levesque. Well, you want my honest opinion? He's not Paul Levesque. He's a monkey. Because he's monkey see, monkey do. Because he does the same thing as what Vince McMahon done. Every time. You see, go back and watch some old wrestling. You'll see, hey, did we have an aimless match in the past? Yeah, but hey, we have an aimless match. Hey, did we have a match that anything goes? Yeah. We had it when Vince McMahon was in charge. And are we sick and tired of this Survivor Series War Games yet? Because I personally, I don't like it. I like the original War Games because it was actually better. But then again, everybody's got their own opinion. The only reason why War Games was brought in to this is because of Dusty Rhodes. It was his invention. He created it, which is great when it was on the organization that he started it in. WWE didn't need it. But, hey, we had to pay respect to Dusty Rhodes. And well deserved. Because the man was good at the business. He knew what he was doing. And he came out the way he wanted. He done what he wanted. Nobody told him, oh, well, hey, you need to do this. You need to change here. You need to change there. No, he kept himself original. Even though he came out with a black and yellow polka dotted outfit. But he wore it with class, though, didn't he? But we get back to the monkey. Yes, I'm talking about Triple H, the monkey. The man that thinks he knows what he is doing. But the air didn't last very long. How long did he have his air run? Maybe a month? And then what? TKO came in and bought the whole organization. So they want to say, well, this is Triple H's air. No, it's not. This is TKO's air. And TKO don't care about wrestling because they're not into wrestling. They're in MMA. That's what they're into. Boxing. They're into. A lot of it is NASCAR. TKO is a little bit involved in that. But at wrestling, no, they don't care about wrestling. That's why eventually, and it's no secret, TKO is going to be bought out by no other than Saudi Arabia. That's a known fact. Deal with it, because that's who's going to end up owning WWE, is Saudi Arabia. But get back to the monkey, Triple H. Yeah. Yeah. He is a monkey. Because you know what the old saying is? Monkey see, monkey do. Well, that's Triple H. That's what he does. Now, whether people like it or they don't like it, but that's the way it is. Everybody needs to know that true and simple fact. That's why every time I talk about a monkey, I'm talking about Triple H. Because a monkey could do the same job that Triple H does. Because he don't know what he's doing. Oh yes, he's married to Vince's daughter, Stephanie, which, what does she do? She don't even do anything in the business. She's got her own podcast that is, as far as I'm concerned, is the most stupidest podcast. Well, it's not the stupidest. I mean, Logan Paul has the most dumbest goddamn podcast on the face of this planet. Yes, I'm talking about that bonehead. I don't like him. Never have liked him. I've watched a lot of his stuff on YouTube, and absolutely every time I see it, it almost makes me throw up. That's how well I like Logan Paul. But then, what do we got? We got Braun Breaker. The man that's supposed to be the leader of this whole organization, because that's where we're leading him into. He's going to be the face of WWE once he gets the title. But it's like everybody else. The first time he faced CM Punk, everybody thought, well, Braun Breaker was going to win. Okay, if that's what you think, you get 2 matches between Braun Breaker and CM Punk. And the second match is the match that CM Punk is entitled to for a rematch. That's it. You would have got 2 matches out of that. Well, with Braun Breaker losing, now you can have 3 matches with Braun Breaker and CM Punk. What's good for business? 2 matches or 3 matches? That's why I knew Braun Breaker was not going to win on Saturday Night's Main Event. Knew it. I knew it when that match was assigned. I knew Braun Breaker, he wasn't going to win his first match against CM Punk. That's plain and simple. You ought to know this. Because what's good for business is to have 3 matches instead of 2. That is what's good for business. So that tells you Braun Breaker was going to lose Saturday Night's Main Event. It's no secret, people. But there are people that is convinced that Braun Breaker was going to win. You get Bubba Ray Dudley. Remember him? He's on Spotify now. doing his little podcast crap with that Dave, which is a bonehead, because he's a crybaby Cody Rhodes fan. Well, let me tell you there, baby, you ain't nothing but a crybaby. But both of them said Braun Breaker was going to win. Well, come find out, they didn't know what the hell they're talking about now, did they? But no, he put so much faith in everything that Bubba Ray says because he knows his business, because he was a wrestler. Yeah, he was a wrestler. But you don't know business-wise there, boy. So deal with it. And that's a fact. But it's time for people to understand this is what it is. You've got to get this through your head that only one thing is important. And that's to satisfy the fans. And that's why Cody Rhodes lost to Drew McIntyre. It's plain and simple. The fans are done with Cody Rhodes. And the way they get over him is by him losing. And now he's got the feud between Cody Rhodes and Fatu. Now, who do you think is going to win that match? Let's get real. Fatu don't play by an ordinary rule. You think you got him down, he comes back. You think you got him beat, he jumps up. You think he is that lazy and unsophisticated and don't know what he's doing? Then you're sadly mistaken. Because Fatu is a hell of a wrestler. He's tough. So, Cody Rhodes, you come against him, you better be willing to absolutely bring everything that you got. Because it's the only way you're going to beat the man. That's a fact. I don't care what anybody thinks. But we got somebody coming in on SmackDown that still has a grudge to settle with our champ. And that is Omos Simi. Yes, he's coming to SmackDown. You remember Saturday night's main event that the whole world wanted to watch because it was John Cena's farewell match. It was his last match. And well, I'll get back to that here in a little bit. But you remember who interfered in that match between Omos Simi and Cody Rhodes? It was Drew McIntyre. So Omos Simi has a grudge with Drew McIntyre because he was not happy that that goofball jumped in and interfered in that match. So Omos Simi is coming after Drew McIntyre. That's a known fact. Ain't no ands, ifs, buts about it. That's a fact. Now, to get back to the whole John Cena thing, now I know I'm going to make a lot of people mad. But you want to know what? It don't make no difference to me. Because I don't like him. Yes, I'm talking about John Cena. I'm glad the boy is gone. Hopefully he stays gone and we never see his face ever again. But we know that's not going to happen. Because after a little while, everybody will forget about him and he'll make his little grand appearance just as other people that have left this business have done. So we'll see him again. We won't see him in the ring, but we don't need to see him in the ring. All we need to do is just see him in the back. And, oh my God, oh, look at John Cena. Hey, he's back. Because that's what people will think. I hope we never see the man back. I hope he absolutely just fades off to the sunset and he's gone. So yes, was the match between John Cena and Gunther a horrible match? Some people says it was. I thought it was actually a pretty decent match. I think the tap out that John Cena done was as fakey as all get out. But a lot of people don't understand he done that because it was right for the business. See, Gunther made a statement that he was going to make John Cena quit. He was going to make him quit. Well, how you make a person quit? By tapping out. And did you see the little smirk that John Cena gave before he tapped out? Did you see the little grin? Yeah, he done it for the business. It was the right thing to do. That's why Cena lost. And that's plain and simple. But people were upset because, oh my God, John Cena lost. Why? Why did people get upset because Cena lost? I don't understand that at all. He wasn't worth a shit as far as a wrestler to begin with. And everybody knows it. But we get back to the whole WWE. And we get back to what I think is the best era in all of wrestling. And that is nothing more than the Attitude Era. The aggression era that John Cena came out, ruthless aggression. He's the only one that had it. That's why that era was a complete flop. Because he's the only one that came out and said a ruthless aggression. Nobody else came out a ruthless aggression. Nobody. So, like I said, that era was a flop. The Attitude Era was the better era of all of wrestling. That's a known fact. It's the way it is. But, you know, who was in charge back then? Yes, it's the old man, Vince McMahon. That's right. That's when wrestling was good. That's when wrestling actually was interesting. I know a lot of people are saying, well, at the end of Vince McMahon, the wrestling just fell completely apart and it just wasn't no good. I'll give you a little bit of that. I will. I'll give you a little bit of that. Because at the end, before he actually left, yes, wrestling kind of fell flat. And it was, oh my God, what is going on with this organization? So we got rid of him. And we put a monkey in charge now. That's who we have now. Like I said, I don't like the man. Never liked him. Didn't care for him. Was he a good wrestler? He was an okay wrestler. I wouldn't say he was great. Nobody is great. They are a good wrestler or they're an okay wrestler. But my personal opinion, we have a person that wants to go around and brag to everybody, and the whole organization brags about this so much that I'm sick of hearing it. Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania. I don't agree with that. He's not Mr. WrestleMania. Because how many WrestleManias did he win? You take his winning record and who had the longest WrestleMania streak in WWE. That's right. I'm talking about The Undertaker. He had the longest winning streak in all WrestleManias. And he's not classified as Mr. WrestleMania. No, we got Goofy there that absolutely, oh my God, woo, it comes out, woo, and all this praise and bullshit. And now what's he do? He does nothing. Oh, I guess he's kind of like in charge of NXT, but NXT as far as what? What's he do at NXT? He's not the general manager because Eva is the general manager, which, my personal opinion, is doing a better job of being a general manager than anybody else that NXT's ever had. That's a fact. She's good at her job. Now we go into our general managers. Okay, I done told you how I feel about Eva on NXT. Let's go to SmackDown. Nick Aldis. Is he a good general manager? Yes. Does he keep his head a little bit more calm and cool and collected? Yes. But has he touched wrestlers? Yes, he has. He's touched Drew McIntyre before. I know this Dave on Busted Out podcast crap. He says as far as he never laid a hand on a wrestler. Well, he has. That bonehead, like I said, don't know what he's talking about. So he should just shut the hell up and stick to series and never do anything else. But that's the way it is. And then we have the bigger problem. And that is Adam Pearce. He lets his emotions get the better of him 90% of the time. There's been plenty of times Adam Pearce, they have wrestlers just walked all over him and he didn't do anything. He was just like a little whip puff in the corner hoping nobody sees him. But he finally did step up and say, okay, enough. I'm going to take control. But he let his emotions get the best of him. When he put his hands on Braun Breaker. Granted, he put his hands on him first. But what Braun Breaker done was completely uncalled for. But there lies the problem. He is such a wild animal that this organization is going to have a little bit of a problem controlling him in that ring. Because he lets his emotions run wild when he's in that ring. Is he a hell of a wrestler? Yes. I mean, let's take a look. Who his dad is, who his uncle is. They were probably one of the best tag teams in wrestling. But we get the tag teams. Okay, let's go to tag teams. Now we'll dig into this. We probably got the best tag teams in WWE as of right now. No doubt about it. And that is the Usos. I'm sorry, but I think Jimmy and Jay should have never split, but I understand why they did. But now they're back. That is a tag team that is going to absolutely do a lot more than what they did in the past. If they let them do what needs to be done. But this falls back on the whole writing staff, the whole booking agent, the whole creative team. Are they willing to give them the leadway to do what they want to do? But who do you have going up against them? You got the Road Warriors, or not the Road Warriors, but the Viking Raiders. You haven't seen that team for how long now? There's another team that is kind of just, where are they at? Like I said, I mentioned Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. There's a team, but where are they at? You got these new teams coming in, like DIY. It's a good team, and they work together, but do they belong in WWE tag team? No, because actually that team, they are better if they're individual, because then Mr. Johnny Wrestling can actually do his style of wrestling, and while Ciampa can do his style of wrestling, which is more being aggressive than what Johnny is. Johnny is more of a technical wrestler that wants to absolutely mingle inside that square ring, which is 20 by 20. I know AI says it's 16 by 16, but that's where AI don't know what they're talking about. But that's beside the point. That's a whole new subject that I may talk about later on. But right now, we're talking about this. So, who do you really have as far as tag team? New Day? I mean, the crowd is done with New Day. Kofi Kingston absolutely should be getting out of Xavier Woods' way and letting Xavier Woods absolutely be on his own. When Xavier Woods first came in, you remember when he first came in? I remember when he first came in. He was a horrible wrestler. He couldn't even win his first debut match. He lost. He was horrible. So, who they put him with? The one and only R-Truth. They were a tag team at one time. R-Truth was going to absolutely help Xavier Woods. But what happened? The writing, the creative decided, nah, we don't want that no more. So they done away with it. And so they put Kofi Kingston and Big E together with Xavier Woods. Made them New Day, you remember? Which I'm sick of hearing that. But it actually benefited Xavier Woods. Because Kobe was a better trainer than what R-Truth was, as far as Xavier Woods was concerned. You had Big E, which had the power to absolutely help both of them out in any circumstances. That's why New Day actually is classified as the second best tag team in wrestling today. But Kobe needs to go. Xavier Woods needs to branch out all by himself and then say, this is it. I'm done with Kobe. I love you, buddy, but, you know, I got my own career that I have to worry about for myself. And that's a fact. But then we get into who nobody else but Roman Reigns, the big dog. Well, the big dog. I remember when they all wanted to talk about the big dog. And the big dog at that time was The Undertaker. Because when The Undertaker and Roman Reigns had their match, and Roman Reigns won. What did The Undertaker do? He took his hat and his shoes off and left them inside the ring. That was his final match. That was his final match. There was no other matches The Undertaker had. That was it. Undertaker turned over the control to Roman Reigns. And he told Roman Reigns, well, this is your yard now. You run it. And he didn't. He run it for a little while. What, a year? But did he actually run it? Or was the Usos and Sokoa, all of them helping him run it? That is the big question that still lingers in my mind. I know everybody says, well, that wasn't the last match The Undertaker had. The last match he had was with AJ Styles. No, it wasn't. AJ Styles, if you remember, called out not The Undertaker. He called out Mark Calloway. That's who AJ Styles called out. Wasn't The Undertaker. There's a difference. But everybody thinks, well, no, AJ Styles and Undertaker was the last match that he had. No. Like I said, if you go back and watch, AJ Styles called out Mark Calloway, not The Undertaker. That's a fact. So you can't count that match as Undertaker's match. You count that as AJ Styles and Mark Calloway's match. Because that's who he called out. But there are people that say absolutely, oh, no, no, no. Well, no, your ass. Because, like I said, go back and watch the footage. AJ Styles did not call out The Undertaker. He called out Mark Calloway. That's who he called out. That's a fact. Records and proof is all in the past. All you have to do is watch it. But we have this. AJ Styles. This is basically the end of AJ Styles' career. He's got to move on. And he knows he needs to move on. He knows his body just can't continue to do what he does. Now, was the match that he had with Gunther a good match? Some people say it was an okay match. Some people say it's an excellent match. I've heard some people say it was a horrible match and it shouldn't even actually taken place. But that's their opinion. I thought it was really a good match. But Gunther done what AJ Styles wanted. AJ Styles, like somebody, if you're going to go into a match, you bring everything that you got at him. Throw everything you got. AJ Styles loves them kind of matches. And Gunther gave it to him. And he gave it right back to Gunther. There's several times I thought for sure that AJ Styles, as soon as he started working on the legs, hey, it's a matter of time. He's going to put that calf crusher in, and Gunther's going to have to tap out. Well, if you at the end of the match you seen Gunther did tap out, but the referee didn't see it. Nobody's fault. Gunther just knew the position that he was in. He knew he could tap on AJ Styles and without the referee seeing it. That's plain and simple. He knew where he was at. And he knew as soon as he tapped on AJ Styles, Styles would let go. Because he thought, well, the match was over with. He tapped out. But the referee didn't see it. Now, I agree. Why did the referee go over there and talk to the ring announcer and all that is really kind of a stupid thing, but goes back to what? Goes back to the writing, the producers, the people in the gorilla. And who's in the gorilla? That's right, the monkey. So that's the way it goes. And I'm sorry, but that's a fact. Here, I've got to end this because, I'm getting a little bit hoarse. So I'm going to say, I hope you liked it. And if you do have a favorite wrestler, leave in a comment on who your favorite wrestler is. And I'm going to let you go. So I will see you on the next video that I make. And I don't know. Maybe we'll do something else as far as the topic is concerned. So for now, I've got to go. Bye.